Well, I thought maybe the dolls would like some cheese puffs to snack on. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy these are to make. All right, to make our cheese puffs, we need to have some pale yellow polymer clay. And this one is actually 1 part yellow Fimo and 2 parts original Sculpey. I didn't have a pale yellow on hand that I had enough of to do this. So we're going to start by, after you get your clay all mixed, and if you've got a pale yellow clay in your stash, just go ahead and use that. Like I said, I just didn't. Then we're going to roll a snake. It's about 1/4 inch in diameter. And we're going to cut some small pieces. Each piece will become 1 cheese puff. I'm not going to do the whole snake on camera. I'll do that, most of it off camera. And then we're going to make little balls of clay. The biggest ones will be about 1/4 inch in diameter. You can make some slightly smaller ones. I just pulled a random cheese puff out of my bag, but some are short. This is one of the longer ones though. Some are shorter. So you can make some of them a little shorter, some a little smaller. I wouldn't go any bigger than the 1/4 inch in diameter. Then one of these dish scrubbies. They're sold by the stuff to wash your dishes with, and it's got like a sponge inside and this net outside. I love this for texturing clay. So I'm going to start by just starting to roll these little balls out a little bit so that I've got a head start on them. It's a little easier to get them started on your tray. And then just roll them like this on here. If you're getting too much texture, go ahead and use a toothbrush because you'll have a little bit lighter touch and it will kind of soften the and you want to make these, the 1/4 inch balls, you want to make them about 3/4 of an inch long, no more than that. And when they get to about 3/4 of an inch, they're about the right diameter, which is a little more than 1/8 of an inch, but not a lot. And kind of watch so that you're getting everybody about the same diameter. Like I said, the lengths can vary. Get the diameters about the same. Make those consistent. But you want quite a bit of texture. So I am going to actually turn the camera off and get some more of that clay rolled out into cheese puff shapes, and when I have a bunch more done, I'll come back and we will do our coloring of them. All right, we have a whole bunch of naked cheese puffs here, so we need to add some color. And I've been playing around with these a little bit this morning. I made a few earlier and tried out a couple of different ways to color them and pick the one that I think works the best. And we are going to use chalk, and we need to pull these apart a little bit. So I have some bright orange artist chalk. It's one of those colors that we don't very often get to use making foods because it's so bright. And it's going to take a bit of it. And this lid is just, it's like the lid off of some of the, I think it came off of some lunch meat that I bought, some sandwich meat. Now I have my regular eyeshadow brush that I usually use, but this time, instead of using this dry, I'm going to get my brush just a little bit damp and kind of use the damp brush to moisten, I know a lot of people hate that word, to moisten the chalk and as it goes on. I found that when I tried to brush the chalk on dry, like we normally use it on our miniature foods, it was just too thick. And I will show you both I'll show you some examples of both here in a little bit. When I get done, I'll show you some of the ones I made with the chalk dry, and they're just a little too much chalk that way. By wetting our brush, and it wasn't very wet. I got most of the water out before I started using it. And it's okay if you miss a few spots. You want to get most of it, but in a real bag of cheese puffs, there are some spots that are not covered. There's some thinner spots and some thicker spots of that lovely orange stuff that gets all over your fingers. So I'm just using the brush to basically roll these around. Having this on this lid really helps because it gives me a confined space to work, and it keeps the chalk off of my work tile. It keeps it off of everything else that I don't want the chalk all over. I don't really want to make a mess. I want to keep this as neat as possible so I don't have to clean up so much. And this way it just confines that. So I am going to finish getting these all coated. Then I'm going to put them onto my baking surface. Remember, when I bake clay, I use one of these plain cheap paper plates, you know, the really soft ones that you don't really want to put food on. These are, as long as you get one that doesn't have any kind of coating on it. Remember, polymer clay burns at a much lower temperature than paper. That's why it's safe to use. The temperature that paper would have a problem at is much, much higher than where you would burn your clay. So I know there's a few new people that are watching the videos that are apprehensive about using paper. I suggest, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done a lot of polymer clay, check out my Clay 101 series that's on the channel. I'll try to remember to put that playlist at the end of this video in the end card or the end screen so that you can have a link to the entire playlist. And in there I go into all kinds of details about what I use to do polymer clay, why I use it, what surfaces I work on, what surfaces I bake on, and a lot of the reasoning why, so that we don't have to repeat it each and every time we do a video. So I will try to remember to link that playlist at the end of the video. But in the meantime, I'm going to finish coloring these, and I'm going to put them on my paper plate in my oven and bake these for 10 minutes. When they're baked and cooled, I'll come back and we will look at our finished cheese puffs. All right, I've got these baked and cooled, and now they're ready to use. And see, the chalk stays on pretty well. There might be a little chalk come off, but not much. Now, by using the wet brush, we get a totally different effect. And I've got some here that I did earlier, along with my real cheese puff. I'm going to try and move you guys down and keep this in focus. So here are ones that I did with the wet or damp brush, and it is just, I want to emphasize, just barely damp. And here is dry, like we normally do our chalks when our breads or our baked goods. And in my opinion, at least, the damp brush makes a much more realistic look because it makes the chalk a lot lighter. It shows through, the yellow clay shows through a lot more. So I really love how these turned out. I hope that you do too. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Leave me a comment. What kinds of things would you like to learn to make for your dolls? Whether it's polymer clay food, some sewing projects, whatever. Let me know. I'm always looking for new subjects for videos for you guys. I want to make the videos you want to watch. If you enjoy my content and you haven't subscribed, I encourage you, hit that subscription button and ring the notification bell so that you'll know when I put up a new video. Check the blog post and the Facebook group, and I will talk to you later. Bye.